for the state. Defense.
Scott McClung for Mr. Wong.
And are you Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Wong, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are.
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Off the record, your client needs to sign that.
Sorry. This was,
All right.
remember I talked to you about you were waiving your right to appeal if the judge follows the plea agreement.
Thank you. All right, we're back on the record. 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do believe.
Mr. Wong, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense is at the plea.
It is, Your Honor, with the understanding that I would ask the court if you would consider probating the fine. He's a high school student.
All right, state is at the plea.
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motion?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, no possession of any weapons on school grounds and within 1,000 feet of any schools. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense, as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State any evidence.
She understood exhibit number 1 with the office.
No objection.
All right, state, you may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Did you review the document entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, please, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, this young man has never had any trouble with the law before. He's never even had any trouble at school before. He realizes what a dumb thing this was that he did. He's been allowed back into regular classes at his school. He attends a youth ministry, I think 4 times a week. We're not gonna have any problems with this young man again. I'm certain of it. So I hope you would just follow the agreement and that's all.
All right, why would you do such a thing? Why are you putting this on social media?
Sorry, I just didn't meant to do it.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't meant to do it. I just.
No, I mean, you meant to do it because you did it. I'm trying to figure out what was your thought process behind doing what you did.
Just did it for fun.
All right. And now look where we are.
Yes.
You need to start thinking before you act, and doing things for likes or whatever young people are doing now. It's not worth it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So has he received any type of mental health treatment?
No, Judge, I haven't seen any indication that he's ever had any kind of issues before. And talking with his family, they were just shocked by this. He's been a good kid and by all accounts is, goes to school, does well in school, is in, like I said, youth ministry.
What are your grades like in school?
My grades.
Mhm.
They're good. They're great.
What does
Like-
that
like
mean?
what?
Everybody has
What
a
kind of grades?
definition of good.
Like 80s, 90s.
Okay, 80s, 90s. And they've changed the grading scale from when I was in school. Now an 80 can be an A, which is unheard
I
of.
don't think 80 could be an A, Judge.
Yes.
89 maybe could be an A minus, but
When I was in school, 90, you were just on the cusp of
that's an A
being at
minus.
a B. No, 90, when I was in school, that was the cusp of the B. You're not really pushing an A. You're just
Yeah,
praying,
yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time? Are you involved in any extracurricular activities?
No.
What tell him about the ministry that you're youth?
Well, I'm in a ministry like, church. I go to church, like they have a youth program.
All right, everyone, you need to whisper.
They have
yes.
a youth program and I go.
So
Tell her
what do
how
you do in
often
the
you
youth
go.
program?
I go Mondays. Well, I go like almost every day.
All right, so what do you do there?
Like we pray, we sing, and then yeah, they like give us a lesson.
All right, are you involved in any school clubs or sports?
No,
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not interested.
All right, well, I will tell you, different clubs at school, that's a way to meet with your peers. And a lot of times people think being on the football team or basketball team's the end all to be all. I was president of the physics and chemistry club. So it's just, you're meeting people who maybe have your same interests that you do. So you need to figure out what your interests are and what you're planning to do with your future, because it's not too late for you. So you need to start focusing on that, because this is a bad start to the rest of your future, but you can still turn it around. Do you understand? All right. So does anybody want him off of social media?
I don't,
Is he going to go through withdrawals if he's not on social media?
I mean, any kid his age will probably go through withdrawals not being on social media, but maybe for a short period if you're inclined.
Okay. Well, I will tell you what I am going to require though, and I do this for a lot of the younger people who are on probation. You're still in high school. Technically, you're an adult according to the law, but I still think sometimes they need some extra guidance. So I am going to require you to check in with me so we can make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow. So other than probation, you're going to end up coming in to check in with me. And I'm going to make sure you check in with me. Probably we'll do it once every 3 months just to make sure that he's on track. And if you have any issues, you can discuss any issues that you may have with me or maybe with your attorneys, because sometimes I know people don't want to discuss certain things with their parents. I personally don't encourage that. I think you should be able to discuss everything with your parent as I did with mine. But sometimes people want to hear it from a stranger. All right.
Okay.
So this is what we're going to do. There's a $2,000 fine. That's going to be probated. Ms. Abrams, this is one person. I'm not going to do proof of employment because you're in school full time.
Yes.
All right. So I'm not going to do the proof of employment with him. I'm going to do 5 years deferred adjudication. Counsel, if he completes everything successfully, the court will consider releasing him. And if you want to be released early for probation, it will be good for you after you graduate from high school to get in somebody's trade school or go to somebody's college, then I will strongly consider letting him off early. There is going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to make you do that. You can either do the 200 hours of community service restitution, or you can join an organization at your school. And the hours you spend in that organization at your school, for every hour you do that, that'll be an hour less of community service restitution you have to provide to the court. You understand?
Yes.
And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want you to get to know the other students. Sometimes people are very shy and they think they don't have anything in common with other people, but you will find that probably the same insecurities or issues that you're going through, somebody else at school is going through the same thing. And they're just waiting for somebody to say, hey, I feel that same way too. You understand?
Yes.
There's going to be regular reporting. And LaShawn, all right, off the record for a moment. Thanks. All right, Mr. McCrum, if you and your client will come back, please. All right, Ms. Abrams, and we're back on the record in 2024 CR 2313. In this case, because he's in school, can we do reporting by Zoom?
Yes,
All right, so there'll be regular reporting by Zoom. And I'm doing that because I don't want you to miss school. Field visits, one time per month for 3 months. And while you're on probation, you're not allowed to have possession of any weapons. So the request for no possession of any weapon on school grounds and within 1,000 feet of any schools, you're just not allowed to possess weapons, period. Do you understand?
Yes.
And there'll be regular random UAs. And counsel, he can do the UAs or either he can do the patch. The patch costs more, but regular random UAs, it may end up being a little bit difficult, Ms. Abrams, since he's in school and I don't want him to miss school. So,
What time do you get to school every day?
4:15.
Yeah, it could be tight.
yes, he gets out of school at 4:15. So if he's not able to do that, you're going to have to do the patch because you have to be drug tested. Do you understand?
Yes. Ma'am.
Judge, unless you give them 24 hours to submit after.
All right, I'll do regular random UAs with 24 hours to submit.
Thank you.
And a mental health evaluation. And that can be done out of custody. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
No. Ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can I have a 60-day reset?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so on October 7th, you're going to come in. You'll probably be a little bit late for school, but if he's here at 9, I'll take him up before before my docket is called, because I want to keep track of him and make sure that he stays on the path that he's supposed to stay on.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal
Yes. Ma'am.
with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes. Ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes. Ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed the plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes. Ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. You understand?
Yes. Ma'am.
Do you see everybody over in that box?
Yes.
Those are inmates that are brought over from the Bexar County Jail. And the fact that you are of your age, the inmates at the jail are not going to care because you're going to be legally an adult. So you need to make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow so you don't end up at the Bexar County Jail or that you don't end up at prison. You understand?
Yes. Ma'am.
And in this courtroom, communication is key. Talk to your probation officer. If you feel as though you're struggling with conditions, pick up the phone, call probation, call your attorney. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court and address it with me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Judge, does the court need to do anything for his conditions of bond to be, because he's on a monitor?
All right,
He's been on it without fail, hasn't been able to do anything.
all right, this is what, is he on,
Full GPS,
full GPS?
other than being able to go to church.
All right, I'm gonna allow him to go to school and I'm gonna allow him to go to church and then he can come back
Mhm.
and I'll consider
He's
things.
been on for quite a while already, Judge.
Okay.
He's not gonna,
Okay, let me just tell you. I've had young people to come to this court before who've had similar charges to him. And I've got to make sure that you stay on track. Because if you think about this case, not as your case, just as a case in general, what you did, that puts everybody on high alert. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I know you may thought it was a joke, but with what's happening in the world, other people did not think that was a joke. And that probably disrupted a lot of schools and disrupted a lot of students and gave them anxiety. And it probably gave parents a lot of anxiety. So the fact that you're on GPS and the big scheme of things balanced against what you've done, this is where we are. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you come back in October, what I will do is I'll start slowly, if everything is going well, I'll start slowly lifting you from that.
Okay.
Okay?
Judge, I need
What do you need?
I need more instructions on the details. Judge.
All right, on the GPS, it will be partial for school. And you said you have your church activities
Yes, ma'am.
for school and for church activities.
he's got community service.
Oh, probation, this GPS is not going to stop him from reporting.
Whatever
GPS.
his probation terms are, that's fine.
Yes,
Is that your work release?
yes.
I have to be very
No,
clear.
no, work release waive fees.
Is that all?
Yes, that's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Happy. I upload courtroom video for education purpose. This video may contain copyrighted works not specifically authorized for use, but believed in good faith to be protected by the fair use doctrine under Section 107 of U.S. copyright law.